Hello and welcome to video number 7. In this video, we will learn how to create a resume in Word. We will also look at Word tables and our resume templates. Here in our notes, we have the resume guidelines. I have listed them here, and the goal of a resume is to convince an employer to hire you. In your resume, you should highlight your education, your work experience, and also your skills. Employers scan through the resumes quickly, so it is important to have a resume that will stand out. While creating a resume, there's one set of rules that you should follow. You should read the job description and also tailor your resume to meet the job requirements. You should also make the resume your own by including and highlighting your individual experience. It is also important to put the most relevant and recent information first. Remember, in your resume, you're selling yourself, but you also need to be honest and also do not undersell yourself. If possible, keep it to one page. Make your formatting consistent throughout your resume. Here also are possible sections that you should include in your resume. You need to include your objective, skills, work experience, education, leadership, community work that you may have done, and also any certificates or awards that you may have. On our notes here, here's a link to a website that have brief description about our resume guidelines. In this video, as I told you, we will learn about word tables, and here are the notes for word tables. And as I scroll down, we also have 3 levels of formatting. We have discussed these 3 in our previous videos, but we'll also see the 3 of them in this video. I will now close this, Alt F4 to close this, and now we'll open a resume template so that we can look at it. I want us to first look at a resume template, and I'll come down here on my taskbar and click on the Word window icon. And once I'm here, you can see I have several templates right here. And if you would like to see more, you can click on more templates. I will click on new, and then I will have a variety of more templates right there. But to search the resume template, on the search bar there, type resume and enter. And you can see now we only have the resume templates here. For us, we will not use the templates to create a resume. We will create our own, which is not difficult to do. And actually, for me, I've never used these templates to create my resume. But don't get me wrong, it is not a bad thing to create a resume using the templates. But after this video, you will know how to create your own resume, and you will not need to use the resume templates to create your own resume. So I will click on any of these, and if I click on that, you can see it gives you a preview of how the resume will look like. So if you were to create your own resume from the template, you would just click create here. So and actually, let me go on and click here, create. And right there, you can see it has opened the resume template. And if you are to use a resume template, again, you would fill in your details right here. It's giving you a guidance of what you should be filling in all these columns right there. So I also told you that I will show you how to create a table if you were to create a table in Word. And actually in this resume template, you can see that they used a table to create this resume. And how we tell that, I have my non-printing characters turned on. And you can see right here, we do have the symbols that are symbolizing the cells. So if you see these small symbols here, and this is also in your notes, these symbols here, they are representing the cell. And if you see this symbol right here, this symbol is representing the table. So if I click on that, I can see the entire table is selected. So if at any time you see a Word document that has this symbol, you will know that that Word document was created using a table. And if you click on that, then you will be able to select the entire table. So let me open a new Word document, and I will show you briefly if you were to create a table in a Word document. I will click anywhere to unselect that. And to open a new Word document, I will use the keyboard shortcut since I'm still in a Word document right here. So I will just press Ctrl N, and that will open for me a new Word document. So if you were to insert a table table in your Word document, you would come up here to your ribbon, click on Insert, and then on the Tables group, click on the Tables, and then you can see these cells right here. So I hover my mouse and I hover my mouse right there, and you can see from the Word document it's creating those cells as I select. And if I select the 5th cell, you can see from the Word document right there, I have 5 columns with 5 cells. So if I want to add more rows, I will just hover my mouse to the 2nd row and to the 3rd row. And once I click on that, then I have my table inserted in my Word document. And you can see right there, we have that symbol, and you can see the cells right there. So if I would like to move to the next cell, I would use the tab to move to the next cell. And if I were at the last cell here and I would like to add another row, I would tab and it will add for me another row with the same number of columns. So sometimes you will have a Word table and you do not want to show the borders. So that's possible. You just come to your ribbon on the Home tab, and here on the paragraph group, if I click on that and if I click No Borders, so I need to make sure that my entire table is selected, or the sections of the table that you do not want to see the borders. And I have my mini toolbar right there. I will click on that and I will click No Borders. So I see now I do not have any borders on my table. And if I bring my mouse right there, I can see that symbol right there. So if I click on that, it's selecting the entire table. So that's how you would create tables in a Word document if you were to create tables in your Word document. So I'm not saving this, and we'll go on and close this. Alt F4 to close that. I'm not saving that, so don't save. And I will also close this one. Alt F4 to close that. And also I'm not saving this one. So now I would like us to open our start file for our resume so that we can start creating our own resume. The start file is provided to you, and you can find it also on our people website, on our class website. To open our start file, I have this saved in our class folder, and so I'll press Windows E to open my Windows Explorer, and I will click here on my USB drive and expand that, and I'll expand our class folder, expand that, and I will expand that. And I know we are working in Word, so I will click on the Word folder, and you can see right here these are all the files that we have been working with. So I will maximize this window, Windows up arrow to maximize that, and you can see right here I do have the resume start file. So for you, you should be having all these files that we have created saved in your Word folder. And also when you download the resume start file, please save that in the Word folder too. So since I have this selected, I will press enter to open that. Here is our resume start file, and you can see it is 2 pages, but hopefully by the time we are done formatting, we will have it to 1 page. Remember, I told you that you need to have a consistent formatting throughout your resume, and so we will learn how to format a resume so that it will stand out to an employer, and we'll also learn how to have a consistent formatting. And so we will start by formatting the name and the address right here, but before we do that, we need to save this file as a finished file. So I will use our keyboard shortcut F12, and I can see here it's the same location that I would like to save this finished file to. So I will click here and I will select carefully, and then I will type finished file, finished, and I can see right here it is finished file right there. So that's the correct location right there. We have named our file right there, and we are also not changing the extension type, and so I will press enter, and you can see right here we have our resume saved as resume finished file. So now what we will do, if you do not have your non-printing characters turned on, please make sure you turn them on. You can turn them on using this show hide button here in your paragraph groups. You can use Ctrl+Shift**. So now we can start formatting our resume. So we'll start by formatting the name and then the address. So I'll make sure that I see my white pointing arrow right there, and I will click to select on the name, and then I would like to increase the font size for the name. So I will use my keyboard shortcut, Control square bracket, and as I do that, you can see on the font group, the size will change. I want to increase the font size all the way to 20. So that's good. So the next thing, I will increase the font size for the address. So I will make sure that I see the white pointing arrow, and then I will carefully click my mouse to select that. And I can use the mini toolbar right here, and I will increase the font size to 14. And now I will click anywhere to unselect. I would like to bold the name in the address, and I would like to center that. So I'm making sure that I see my white pointing arrow. Select that and then drag that down to select the address, and then I'll use the keyboard shortcut Control B to bold, and I will center that. I will use the keyboard shortcut Control E to center that. And also you can use the button here on your paragraph group to center. So that is centered. That is looking good. The other thing that I would like to do is to add a paragraph border to my address right here. But before I do that, I can see that I have a hyperlink on my email address right here. And when I hover right there, you can see the screen tip there, Control plus click to follow the link. I don't want that, so I will right click somewhere inside this email, and that will give me this drop down list, and I will click remove hyperlink, and now we have removed the hyperlink from the email. So now we will add the paragraph border. So since I'm still inside this paragraph, I'll come up here to the paragraph group, and I will click on the borders button, click on that arrow, and then I'll go to borders and shading right there, and I make sure that the setting is at none. The style that I would like is already selected right there. I'm not changing the color for my border, but I would like to change the width. I will change that to 1.5, maybe 2. See how 2.25 will look like. And I will see from the preview. So if I click the bottom border right there, I think it's too thick, so I will change that to 1.5, and I see that's looking perfect. So if by accident you click one of these sides, you can click again to remove the border, or you can come here and you can see this box here is highlighted. That means there's a border right here. So if I click on that, it will remove this border from here, and you will see once I click on that, that border is gone. So I'm keeping the bottom border, and I will click OK. And you can see now we have applied the paragraph border to the address here. So the next thing that we'll do, you can see we have a lot of spacing in our resume right here. So we will like to change this spacing. So I'll make sure that I select everything here. I use the keyboard shortcut Control A. And since I have selected everything, I can right click anywhere in my document, and I will click on paragraph, and I can see right here this box is empty, this box is empty, and it's because I have different alignment on my document. But what we are interested in is the spacing. I can see our before spacing is 0. That's what we want. The after spacing is defaulted as 8, so we'll change that to 0. And then the line spacing is at multiple. We'll change that to single. And you can see the preview right here. So I will click OK. And now you can see our resume now is in one page. Hopefully we'll keep it as one page as we format. If not, after we are done formatting, we'll make sure that we have one page on our resume. So now the next thing that we will do, I will click anywhere to unselect that. We will create a resume that has columns, and we will also create another resume without columns. So we will start creating first the one that has columns. So I will come up here to my ribbon on my layout, and I will click on the columns button right here on the page setup group. Click on that arrow, and I can see I can change the number of columns that I want from here. And I can also click on more columns right there. That will open for me the columns dialog box. And from here, I can see I can change my document to the number of columns that I would like. I can come down here to this box right here, and I can increase the number of columns, or I can type the number of columns that I would like right there. So for us, we need 2 columns. So I will click on that and then I'll click OK. And now we see right here we have a problem because we do not need the name and the address to be part of the columns. So we will undo that and we will create a section break so that when we add the columns will not apply to the first section here, which will have the name and the address. So to undo that, I'll use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+Z, and I will make sure that I'm bringing my cursor or my insertion point to the paragraph that is just right above objective. And then I'll come back here to my ribbon on the layout tab, and then I will click on the breaks because I would like to insert a break. Click on that arrow, and right here I can see the different types of breaks that we have. For us, we need a section break, and if you can remember in video number 4, I showed you how to insert a section break, but on that video we did a next page. So here in our resume, we will do a section break, but it will be continuous. So we will insert a section break in this document where we will have everything in the same page, but we'll have 2 different sections. So I will click on that, and right here you can see that we have inserted our section break. So if I add columns to this section, it will not apply to this part of my resume or to this section up here. So I'm making sure that my cursor is right before objective, and then I'll come back here on the columns, click that arrow, and then I will click 2, and now I can see that I have 2 columns right here. And we also see because we inserted a section break right here, the columns didn't apply to this part of the section that has the name and the address right here. So because we know that employers scan through the resumes quickly, we'll need to create a resume that will stand out. And so we'll have the objective, education, and skills on this left side of the column. And then we will have work experience in the other section on this right side of the column. And to do that, we will need to insert a column break. So I'm making sure that I'm bringing my insertion point or my cursor right to the paragraph that is above work experience. And then I'll come back here to the page setup group. And because this is a break, I will click on the breaks, click on that arrow right there, and I would like to insert a column break. And what a column break is, it indicates that the text following the column break will begin in the next column, which is what we want. So I will click on that, and you can see right here we have this section on the left side of the column, and then on the right side we have all these other sections right there. We also see now we have 2 pages, but hopefully because we are still formatting our resume, by the time we have finished formatting, we will have 1 page. So now I would like to format the objective, education, skills, work experience, and also awards and certificates in a different way. And so I will click on objective and I will select that, including the paragraph mark, and I would like to increase the size of this one, and I will use my keyboard shortcut to increase the font size. And as I do that, you can see here from the font group, the font size will change. So Control square bracket, I will increase the size to 16. And the other thing that I will do, I will bold that, Control B to bold that. Also, I would like to add a paragraph border to this one. And to apply the paragraph border to my objective right here, I will come up here and click on that arrow on the borders button, and then click to select borders and shading. And I have my borders and shading dialog box open right there. So I still have that style selected, and I will keep the same width. So this time I will click right here to apply the bottom border, and you can see the bottom border right there, and I will click OK. And now I have bolded that, I have changed the font size, and I have applied the paragraph border. I would like to copy this same formatting to education, skills, work experience, and awards and certificates. To copy and paste just the formatting, I will have to double click the format painter right there. And now I can come down here, and once I see that white pointer right there, carefully click to select education, and that has pasted my formatting right there. And again, until I see that white pointing arrow, carefully click to select skills. And another thing that I can do, I can select work experience, and that also will paste my formatting right there. And I can see I still have my brush, and come up here and I see that white pointing arrow. Carefully click to select awards and certificates. And now I'm done with that formatting. So I will escape to turn off the format painter. So the next thing that I would like to do, I would like to add bullets to my list down here. And the objective part here is not a list. It is usually 1 or 2 sentences describing who you are and why you think you would be a good fit for that job. Again, remember, you have to create an objective that is standing out to an employer. So I will scroll down here and I will select the education part. I will select from bachelor's all the way to the end, 2017. And I have my mini toolbar right here. I can use that. I will select the bullets arrow right there. And then I can see the recently used bullets. I will click on that. You can choose on either of these bullets. And right here, I can see the indent is a little bit too far. So I will come up here to my ruler and I will adjust that. And that now looks good. So again, I would like to copy this formatting to these other sections. So I'll come up here and double click that to get my format painter. And then I will select from advanced all the way up to skills. And I have formatted that. And then I will come down here to awards and certificates. I will select that. And I have this other list up here, so I will scroll up and come and select that. And now I will click escape to turn off my format painter. So the other thing that I would like to do, I would like to format this job title right here. So I will click to select that all the way up to the end of the word present. Remember, from our resume guidelines on our notes, you should have the most relevant information first. And so right here, when you're creating your resume, for the work experience, you will list the current job that you are in. If you are still working at that job, you will list present. And so we have hours right here and we have selected that. So we will bold that, Control B to bold that. Also, I would like to copy this formatting on this other job title right here. So I will click my format painter. This time I will click it once because I'm pasting this one time. And I will come down here to office assistant. Make sure I'm selecting all the way up to the end of 2017 right there. And now you can see my brush or my format painter is turned off. It's because I only clicked that one time. So we also need to add bullets to this list down here and also to this list here. I can select all that, or I can use the keyboard shortcut. So I will click anywhere to unselect and then make sure that I'm clicking or bringing my insertion point right before the word managing. And then I will hold down Shift and then I'll press the down arrow. And that is selecting everything as I hold down the Shift and press the down arrow. Now I would add some bullets to this one. So I will come up here on the paragraph group and click on the arrow. And I see my recently used bullets. Click on that. And while I have that still selected, I will come and get my format painter right there. And I will paste this formatting right there. So now I see I have formatted correctly and it looks good, but I see that my bullets are a bit crowded, so I would like to add some spacing to my bullets. So what I can do, I can select all of these bullets, or I can select just one section, format that section, and then paste my formatting to those other bullets list. But what I will do, I will select all these sections. So I'm selecting the education section right there, hold down the control button on my keyboard, and then selecting the list on the skills section right there, and then come up here to work experience, select that list, and then come down here, select that list. And then I can use my bar right here, and I'm pressing my mouse and using that to move down my document. And then I'm selecting that list right there. I still have my control held down. Again, I'll come to the end right here on this bar and I will click with my mouse and drag that up. Then I'll come up here and I will select that. And once I have all those lists selected, I will release my control and I will right click anywhere from these lists and selecting on paragraph. And I would like to adjust the spacing. So I will adjust the after spacing to 4. And I can see from my preview right there. So I'm not changing the line spacing. I'm only adjusting the paragraph spacing for after to 4 points. Now I'll click OK, and I can see at least I have some room now on my bullets. The other thing that I would like to do, I would like to format this job title right there. So I will click on that and hold down my control button and then click on this other job title right there. And then again, I will right click. And I'm making sure that I'm right clicking on this selected paragraph right there. And I click on paragraph, and then I will change the before and after spacing to 6. And I will increase that to 6. And you can see the preview right here. I'll click OK. And now you can see also my spacing here looks good. I will click anywhere to unselect that, and I still see on our resume we have 2 pages. We need to make this to 1 page. So what I can do, I can come up here and adjust my column widths. So I showed you previously when I opened the columns dialog box, which I did open from here. Click more columns, and then you can see the column widths right here where we can adjust our widths. But I'll show you a different way to open this dialog box. So if you come up here to your ruler, and you can see those 2 arrow shaped right there. So if I double click right there, that still opens for me the columns dialog box. So as you can see right here, this box is checked, equal column width. We don't need that, so I will uncheck that and I will adjust our column. So I will adjust the first column right here and I will decrease the width size. And as I do that, you can see from the preview right here is changing. I will decrease that to 2.5. I will not change the spacing between the columns. And if you would like to see how that will be, I can click up here on the spacing and you can see from the preview, but I will leave that at 0.5 and then I will click OK. Now I can see that my width has changed and it looks good, but I still have 2 pages. So I have to find a way to reduce this to 1 page. So what I will do, I will now change my margins, and because these are 2 different sections, I can either format this section and then come back and format this section, but I'll use the keyboard shortcut Control A and I'll come up here to my page setup and I can click on the dialog launcher right there to open the page setup dialog box, or I will cancel that. I've already taught you the keyboard shortcut to do that. Alt PSP, and that opens for me the page setup dialog box. I will first change the margins to 0.75 and see if that works for our document to be 1 page. So I will type 0.75 tab 0.75 tab 0.75 tab 0.75. I will click OK and we can see now our resume is in 1 page. Great, because this is what we want for our resume. So I will click anywhere to unselect that, and as I scroll down you can see all of our information is right here in 1 page, and I can zoom out so you can see the entire resume. So now I see I only have 1 spell check right here, so I can just right click on that and I can ignore because I don't need to change that. So now we have completed creating our resume. We have created a column resume, so we'll save this Control S to save that. The next thing that I will show you is to create a resume without the columns. We will still use the same information. So what I will do, I will remove the columns from this resume. So I will zoom in so that we can be able to edit this and see as we edit. I'm using the control button and I'm using my mouse, the wheel on my mouse, to zoom in up to there. So the first thing that we will do, we need to save this as a different file. So F12, and since this is still a finished file, I will just click right here after finished and I will type without columns and enter. So now we can make changes to this one. So the first thing I will do is to remove the columns. So I will come up here on the page setup group and click on the columns button arrow and then select one column. Now we only have one column for our resume. So the other thing that we'll do is to remove the column break. So I will bring my insertion point right here on the column break right there and then delete that. And I can see now that is in one page. We also don't need a section break for this one, so I can delete that too. Now we can see we only have one page for our resume. So now you know how to create a resume. If you do not want to see these borders right here on your resume, you can do that. And actually, let's do that. So let's save this so that you will have all formats and you will choose whichever you want for your resume. So Control S to save that. And then we'll save this as a new file, F12. I'm saving in the same location. I'm changing the file name here and I will click to select the word columns and I will type without borders and enter. And now on this one, we just need to remove the borders. I will click on objective right there. And then because this is a paragraph level formatting, I can come up here to my ribbon on the home tab and then on the paragraph group, click on that. I can either click no borders right there or I can come to the borders and shading and then I can click none and click OK. And we do not have any border right there. So I will select that and I will get my format painter. I will double click that and then again I'll come here and carefully when I see the white pointing arrow, click to select that, click to select that, click to select that and scroll down, click to select that. I will click escape to turn off or to cancel the format painter. And I will click anywhere to unselect that. So Control S to save that. So that is a lot of good skills that we have learned in this video. We looked at resume templates. We learned how to create a table in a Word document. And we have also learned how to create a resume. We have created one with columns, another one without columns, and this one here that has no borders. We have also learned how to add section and column breaks and also how to adjust the width of the column. We also learned how to change the page margins and adjust the spacing on our paragraphs. And in our next video, we will learn how to create a research paper. Thank you, and I will see you in our next video.